Hey guys, Nazar is here, and let me actually explain how I run this ad account without almost touching anything, right? So if you're a small business or if you just want to try running ads for yourself, this is what you should do. This is what you should try first place, right? Without going to agencies, without going to media buyers, use this strategy because it works really well, especially for niches where you have really, I would say spikes in seasonality. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, like let's say caviar in this case, right? So this is the brand from Australia. Maybe it will be blurred, I'm not sure 100%, right? But this is the brand from Australia. This is a new ad account we started for them. And we started this ad account basically, I think, in May, if I'm not wrong, something like that. And we are like started really slowly with like small amount of ad spend, right? And you can see so far I spent 16K only, not that much, right? We are just around like 3K per month or something, but the performance was really good. So far from 16K, we generated 50K with 3x ROAS, right? And 240 AOV and 2% conversion rate almost, right? But again, in the beginning, it was just a testing campaign here with just Growth Advantage Plus, all suggestions, as you can see here in this case as well. Used ABO structure, amount spent band to this ad set. Actually, I left this ad spend this ad set running because it was producing results. And here we have 27 sales, which is really, I would say, good ROAS on that in that terms of that ad account is new, right? So we have no data. So yeah, as you can see, the conversion rate is also a bit lower here. But then I decided, I saw this new strategy, CBO with Bid Caps, and I decided to try it, because on the previous old ad account, Bid Caps were working pretty well, but they were still in manual ABO campaign, basically. So what I created here is I created a new CBO campaign with Bid Caps only. And in this campaign, I used, of course, winning ads from the previous ad account. I couldn't just, keep them, I think, with the same post IDs, so I should have recreated them from scratch. But at the same time, as you can see, this campaign so far had 3.6x ROAS and 3x ROAS on this new campaign. Also CBO, also Bid Cap. I need to change this. Also Bid Cap, but this one is audience testing, where I test lookalikes basically. And if we check last 30 days, our ROAS is 2.6. It declined because we've also hit some saturation with our ads. In August, let me show you, in August it was 3.8, really successful month. But also, I think right now it's slowing down also because of seasonality. But it will jump again in closer to Q4, closer to November. Since again, in Australia right now it's spring, right? So the thing is, let me dive into this big campaign CBO here, right? Let me make myself smaller. So you can see we have lots of ad sets running, and every ad set is in separate angle or separate variation of testing with a couple of variations inside or just one ad inside, right? So what I did in the beginning, I just imported here some of the, I would say, winning ads from the previous ad account, and also some ads that just I thought they would do well. And for all of them, I used bid cap of $100. Again, if you're not sure how to use bid caps, you can check another video on the YouTube on that. But I just used $100 because I've seen $100 bid cap works pretty well. It worked pretty well on the previous ad account. So if you are not sure what bid cap to use, you can just try and test, let's say, a BO campaign with different bid caps or CBO bid caps actually, right? Because bid cap is not attached to the price of the product. It's just the bid that you put in the auction, right? So the point is that, again, you need to test to find what works well for you. But let's say if your product price, in our case, our CPAs on average is $100, right? Again, you can try somewhere like that, right? You can start slower, of course, but usually for bid caps, it's much bigger than cost caps because it's more strict, like bidding. It's different from the cost cap, but it's still a kind of like bidding strategy. So how to find bid cap? You just create a CBO campaign and you test multiple bid caps starting from your, let's say, CPA goal. Then let's say your CPA goal is 50, you test 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, right? Of course, usually in the beginning, or how it usually does, the biggest one will start spending the most in the side of the CBO, but it's not always like that. Usually can, it can depends on honestly, on what I've seen. So then you test one by one and you see, okay, bid cap of 60 is working well, and then you start using bid caps on all of your new testing ads. But also keep in mind that especially if you're testing new ads, they don't have any engagement. So new testing ads, here I'm putting a bit higher bid cap. As you can see, some of them are 100, some of them are 120, and so on. It's to give a bit more spend to this specific ad set or ad inside of this ad set, right? So it can get some, traffic rolling basically. All right, so you can see the performance, and if we filter out by amount spent, you can see the biggest spend was given to this ad set here, who is this specific ad. And this specific ad was also the winning ad on the previous ad account, older ad account. But I added this ad a bit later. I added this in August, but you remember we started in May, this new ad account, right? So basically, winning ad is a winning ad on multiple ad accounts. Wherever you try it, it's working well. So this is the big point, right? You need to find more winning ads. And that's why you need to launch basically weekly creative testing, right? So then we launch, let's say, another ad set here, just one ad inside that we used with post ID, because again, this is just, I think, a replica of another one. Yeah, so this is a replica of this one. Oh no, maybe another one as well. I'm not sure. So I made like 2 duplicates actually of this one, of chef testing video, because it worked well. Then it stopped working, so I tried to to re-engage it. Sometimes it works as well. So, all right, and then you can see you can see by frequency. So this ad is really cool because it took a lot of ad spend. Let's actually take from August. It will have more data for us. It took a lot of ad spend, right? A lot of ad spend. So this is a prospecting ad, I would say, because the frequency is not that high, right? It's high, it's 2.4 already, but it's not that high, like for other ads like this one that took $400, it already got 5x frequency, right? This is a retargeting ad, this is a prospecting ad, this is also a prospecting ad. You can see the frequency is not running that high as well. These are all retargeting ads where you can see the frequency is 3.4, 3.5 on really low ad spend, right? So this is the big thing. You add new ad tests, new variations inside of this campaign with a bit higher bid cap, because again, winning ads usually do well on lower bid caps even, and then you see if it gets ad spend. If it gets ad spend, that's nice, it's really cool. Then you can decrease the bid cap over time or whatever and stay on the same one, right? And then of course you can control all of the metrics basically inside, right, to see if it's working for you. The main idea is that unless the whole campaign is unprofitable for you, you don't touch anything here. All right, so unless it's doing really bad, then you can dive here and you start turning off some bad performing ad sets, right? But if it's doing well, you don't need to touch it, right? It will do just automatically by itself. All right, I have also a problem here, maybe because it was this seasonal thing or whatever, right, where I still had our winning ad to the ad spend. All right, let me actually check it. I think maybe it was here on this week. No, it wasn't here. Maybe this week. All right, not this one. All right, here I think. 71 spent here. Yeah, that not that much actually. Maybe some purchases came later. Yeah, so as you can see, the performance of this campaign declined, right, in the past 2 weeks of September. Then how I got it back? I posted new ads. I also increased bid caps because it stopped spending the whole daily budget basically. And when it stopped spending, it means that it already used or saturated the audiences inside of that specific bid cap it can bid for, right? So then you need to increase bid caps or add new winning ads or add new fresh ads basically, so you can find new winning ad you can scale later, right? Again, the idea of this is have diversity in your ad account and let Meta optimize on this, right? Because we have a new update, Andromeda update, that came out in July, and basically it all comes down to simplification, specifically for such accounts. So you need to have multiple ads, diversity ads inside of this ad account. You need to have retargeting ads, you need testimonial ads, etc., and it will do automatically for you basically. And here again, another campaign really simple, close to this one, is where I test lookalikes on Facebook engagers, on video viewers 75%, and on 3% on purchases. And as you can see, also it's CBO Bid Caps, $120, and all of the ad spend goes into lookalikes 3% of purchases, right? That's where Meta sees the highest potential, and it's doing pretty well in the last 7 days, as you can see, in the last 30 days as well. To try this strategy, again, to create a lookalike, you need also to have some data, you need to have sales, but this is after you already started running your main campaign with Bid Caps, and this is why after you actually found some of your winning ads. And then keep adding new ad sets here, right? Because you need to keep the machine rolling, basically. All right. Again, if it stops spending at this bid cap, then you need to increase bid cap or add new ads that will be your winning ads that will unlock new audiences, right? Or new angles. Okay, but this is the main issue I found, that if it's sometimes harder to scale this one. But again, if you're on low budget, again, if you're all on low budget, if you are a small business, you don't care about spending that much, but care more about profit. This is something you can use without actually touching a lot of things and checking daily, etc. So try this and let me know what you think.